This is an off-the-cuff video. I do not have a script, but I might do some editing later. What I want to show is just how good this basic D-pad that the Victrix Pro BFG comes pre-installed with. We have access to two sets of D-pads. We have a traditional cross design. I'm not particularly happy with this one. What I was expecting was that this one would be the best, this second one would be the second best, and that this one would not be usable for fighting games. And as it turns out, the cross D-pad is, at least for Tekken, by far the weakest. And this elevated D-pad, or second elevated D-pad with a more clear cross shape, is also rather weak, I have to say, for Tekken. And for Street Fighter I did not test it all that much, but we're not here today for those ones, because in and of themselves these are not the main these of today. It's this D-pad, this elevated disc tile D-pad. It's not actually similar to, for example, a Saturn style D-pad. It's a lot more elevated. It's a lot less thick, much thinner. Now, the issue with this controller, let me say it outright, removing this D-pad is actually really difficult. This almost has a death grip, and when I tested the other two D-pads, a piece broke from one of them. I don't know which one it is. All I know is that I took this one out and it snapped very horribly. So I'm just going to let this one stay in until further notice, because for Tekken this is fantastic, and generally this controller is outstanding. This D-pad is great, but for today we're going to just talk about Tekken. Now, to begin, I have to say that on the right side it behaves worse than on the left side. Some controllers work better on the left side, some controllers work better on the right side, and this controller for sure works better on the left side. But as you can see, this is proper backdashing with Bryan, and I'm not missing it. Now let's position, and same thing here. So you can see this is very consistent, very beautiful in the command history. Now let's do some testing for a Tonje Topa, for example. If I can actually get it on camera. Now that's one, that's two, that's three, that's four, that's five, that's six, 7, oh well. Not today, it would seem. But that was 7 Tonje Topas, very easily. Oh, 8. And let's see. Oh, whoops. Let's see if we can actually get to 10 quickly. Now, bear in mind, I'm just doing this while talking and recording, so this is actually harder than if I were just concentrating fully on the game. So, oh well. Let's please get 10. Okay, that's 10 Tonje Topas on the right. The right side for Tonje Topas is my bad side. For Tonje Topas, my good side is the left side. However, I'm a DualSense player. Now, still, this controller is also incredible for Tonje Topas on the left. I say that, and I'm not going to get any. Okay, that's one, that's two, That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. Seven. 8. 9, and let's get that 10th one. Okay, 10. Now that was 10 tonjatobas on the right and tonjatobas on the left, all while recording, while I'm not actually concentrating all that much. Now, I did not expect this D-pad to be this good for Tekken. I expected it to be good in Street Fighter. It turns out that, despite the fact that it's an elevated disc style D-pad, roll motions are not actually all that great. Now we can get the taunt sway 1 combo with this controller, but it's not the most reliable, I have to say. As you can see, it's not particularly reliable. And for Street Fighter, I might do some testing later or record some testing, but this is not a D-pad I would use in Street Fighter. I thought this D-pad would be good for Zangief, but no, I cannot actually do anything with Zangief with this D-pad. So, okay, you could see that it comes out. Now, I did feel that this combo does come out more easily on the right, but of course changing sides this frequently and this quickly is not helpful for execution. Again, bear in mind, I am naturally a right-sided player. It just so happens that for tonjatopas I'm better on the left side. Even if this video didn't show it, I get a lot more tonjatopas on the left. Now, as you can see, it works really well for Bryan. Now, the one combo that does not work, it does not matter how hard I try, it's the taunt back 4 into sway 1 into Requiem. That's a very difficult combo. That's not actually a real match combo. I've been able to get it like a couple of times, but this is just a practice mode combo. This is a series of one frame links. You have, like, what was it? When I tested it, I believe you only have one frame of leniency to actually link the sway 1. You have to get either a perfect sway 1, which I'm not getting. That's not a perfect sway 1. That's not a perfect sway 1. That's not a perfect sway 1. You need to get a one frame down back, one frame back plus 1. Well, the last one doesn't actually need to be one frame. It just needs to be a simultaneous press on the same frame. You have one frame of leniency because you can actually hold down for one additional frame, because while movement cannot be buffered in Tekken, the first input of a movement option can actually be buffered. But this combo, as I'm saying, this is not actually viable. This is not something you're going to do in real matches. As you can see, the most important aspects of Bryan are perfectly doable. Backdashing into sway attacks, backdashing into sway smash, backdashing into sway 1, backdashing step, sway 1, backdashing step, sway smash, taunt dashing. So you can see, for Bryan, this works perfectly. This is an outstanding controller for most Tekken characters. And we're back. I just made a cut there. Let me actually set him to block after the first hit again. Now, I can't actually remember where I left off before the cut. but just to make sure that I said it, you need to understand that I'm used to playing Mishimas with the PlayStation style D-pads. This one, the DualShock 3 that I can't actually reach, the DualSense, and with arcade sticks that you can't actually see. I'm aiming at it, but you can't actually see it. So anything that's not a PlayStation style D-pad or an arcade stick feels bizarre in my hands. So take that into consideration. However, still, this is a very capable D-pad for Mishimas, and especially now after the Heihachi patch, which gave all of the traditional Mishimas the 13 frame electric with a forward down forward 2 that was exclusive to Kazuya. So this makes it even easier. Now, I'm not going to take that into consideration because when I talk about Tekken, I talk about Tekken in general. If you go into Tag 2, into Tekken 6, Tekken 5, Tekken 7, that input is only available for Kazuya, so I'm not going to talk about that. So okay, let's see some movement, some Kazuya's cancels, Kazuya's cancel into grab. Now this one is actually a very tough one. Okay. Okay. So Rising 2. Okay. Now the combo I can't actually do, that's one that I'm not capable of doing with basically any controller, is the low-high combo from Rising to laser these into Rising 3. No, that's not happening today. That's definitely not happening today. Now, I don't actually remember what the combos are for the Virgin, so you'll have to excuse me on that. But generally, what you want is being able to Rising 2, evidently. Now, Hell Sweep, but this isn't really difficult to do. And Electric from Wavedash. When it comes to Wavedash, it's actually easy, however, again, because I'm used to PlayStation controllers, I'm trying to do the Wavedash while being closer to the center of the D-pad, and in this D-pad you actually have to be on the outer ring. Yeah, definitely. So that, for me, that would take relearning how to hold the controller. But yeah, as I said, this D-pad definitely behaves worse on the right side. It's definitely weaker, but you can still do the important things. Again, I don't remember if this is the combo for the Vulgin. It might not be. Whoops. Okay, so now let's do some testing on the left. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, on the left side, this D-pad is a lot better. Now, you also need to consider that I play with the DualSense. I play with this grip, so I always have the index finger very close to the D-pad to be able to do tangent tapas more easily. But of course, since I got used to playing Bryan, I play practically every character like this. So you'll probably have noticed that I'm holding the controller like this, which is not helpful for the for playing on player 2 side. Okay, 5 electrics. Almost. I think I'm pressing the back buttons by mistake. Okay. Now of course you can actually disable the back buttons for them to have nothing. And it can be done all from the controller itself, which is that's fantastic. That doesn't count as 5 electrics. Okay. Can we get 5 electrics again? Because I'm now going to do different testing. Okay, that's 5 electrics there as well. We're going to go back to the left side and I'm going to do some testing of whiff punishment from an electric, from a side step into an electric. So we're going to set the dummy to block, and then he's going to attack back with an electric. You'll see he does an electric. Let's try the silly side step and right against the electric, which is not going to work in real matches. Do not try it. Okay. Okay. So we got it. Okay. Now you would need to adjust the combo from off axis, of course. I don't actually remember the combo, but let's try some other things. This is not going to work. This is too far. Again, I don't actually remember the combo for the Virgin. But for example that. Okay, this. Again, I don't remember the combo. Okay, it is working. Can we get it? Okay, we did get it. Would guess you would do something like this into this and that. Oh, doesn't work. Okay, so let's try this. Surely you can do it. Yes. Okay. Can Virgin not actually stop an electric from forward? Yes, you can. It's just difficult. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this shows that it definitely works. Okay, and now let's try that on the left side. If it works on the right side, it's definitely going to work on the left side. Okay, let's try this again. There we have it. Again, the combo, don't remember it. Okay. Okay. And we did this into this. I'm standing up too early. And to show some movement, okay. Let's go back to the right, do some movement again. Yeah, I can notice it immediately that on the right this is more difficult. Now it might be because that's just how the D-pad works, or it might just be because again I'm holding the controller like this. This is not how most people would hold the controller. Most people would hold the controller like this, but again, years of playing Bryan have basically forced me to play like this, and years of Devil May Cry as well. But what we're going to test now is a different punishment situation. Let's see if we can actually get this to work. Okay, let's remove this one and record it. Okay, after blocking, yes, that's the basic one. I'm going to record it again. I did not do it correctly. Yes, and now let's just get only one of those options. 1, 2. Okay. Okay, it is working. Now the second option is a lot more difficult to step, but it can be done. As you can see, don't let Devil Jeans get away with this. This is not real. Even on the right, we can step it. On the right, we just need better timing, and we cannot actually cancel the step early, because if we cancel it early, as you can see, we get hit. So now sidestep right, sidestep left against the down forward 2 option into electric, that's not the optimal option. So generally you would not go for electric here, because this is the difficult step into the difficult electric, because this is very tight. You have to wait, or not go for electric, just go for God Fist. But as you can see, it works. Let's do it again. Again, this one is very tight. The one I would do is to to the right, because to the right is just going to beat everything easily. Even at the wall sometimes. Okay, so now let's configure all of those options. Okay. 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 Okay, so I think my point is made very clear. Let's try it on this side as well. Okay. And as you can see, this is working properly. That's the most important thing for a Mishima, being able to sidestep into a launch. And let's now go into the next character. Okay, now here we are with Lee. I've got Devil Jin set to get hit by the first attack and then block all. Let's try the easy version of the combo. Now that one is easy because that requires no timing. That's the automatic version of the combo. When we do this into two back twos, into rising 1-2, playing and speaking at the same time is difficult. We get the correct timing and the correct spacing for the rising 2-3 for the bound or the tornado. If we do the difficult variation, which is to do back 2 into rising 1-2 into back 2 into rising 2-3, we need to delay the second and third options. To do this into that delay, and that's a lot more difficult. And that might even just randomly whiff actually. Again, this is the easy version of the combo that requires no timing. It's the same combo, does the same damage. It's just to send the message to the other player that, hey, I can actually do the difficult version of the combo. Let's see. You need to delay everything. See, it does the same damage, 65 damage. It's just to send the message. Okay, let's try counter hit 4. Now this is the safe option that is going to whiff the least, and it still whiffs. And I'm purposely doing it at ground stat range. You of course have to delay the forward 4. Sorry. Oof. I have not really found any controller that can really consistently hit this, because it's not really a matter of the controller, it's a matter of spacing. This is a very tight combo the further away Lee is, evidently. Okay, let's try this one. This one is of course quite difficult actually. And I have to say, in this controller it's actually a bit more difficult than on the DualSense. Does this work? No. Okay. Okay. Let's get it once more. Okay. Again, this combo is bizarre, so I never actually go for anything fancy because it's going to drop. It's really going to drop. Okay. Okay, nice. Okay, let me try to remember what that's. Ah, yes. Okay, it works. I'm not getting that. Okay, what else? This is not really all that relevant because this combo, the difficult part is the beginning, the getting the just frame there. Okay, let's see. Now I can't actually get this perfect slide ever with any controller from standing. I can only ever get it from crouching, and it's still very difficult. So I can get the regular slide, but try as I might, with no controller, I cannot get the perfect slide. I don't know what I'm failing. Okay, this is bad performance. This is just straight up bad performance. This is, yes, this is just straight up bad performance from the D-pad. I'm pretty sure that if I... But see, I'm not actually getting... Okay, that was a lot faster. Okay. Yeah, this is very bad performance for instant slides. Maybe, again, it is the grip I'm using. But yep. For the rest, it's working well, but for slides, it's not working well. Let's try on the other side. See, oh, hold on a second. Did I get... So, if there are any Lee players here, look at that. Why was that not a perfect slide? That is down, down, forward, down, down, forward, plus 3 on the same frame. Why was that not a perfect slide? So, let's get a perfect slide. Okay, so look at that. Down, down, forward, down, down, forward, plus 3. Why was the previous one not a perfect slide? So that one. Ah, no, not that one. Okay. That one. Why is that not a perfect slide? So okay, for the left side, this is working okay. That's as far as I'm going to go. It's working okay. Okay, now let's try some combos. See, it will just randomly whiff the difficult version of the combo. It will just whiff sometimes. Okay, this time we actually got it. Okay, now next. Yes. This combo might actually be easier on the right side. It does seem to be easier on the right side. See, it sometimes just whiffs for no apparent reason. Okay, we got it enough times. Let's try this. Okay. And there it is. Okay. Could be possible that this character is easier to play on the right side. It's just not coming out. I'm pressing it too early? Really? Still too early. Okay, there it is. There it is. Yeah, I was pressing 4 too early. Yeah. I was pressing 4 too early. So, aside from this light, which, while a good low, it's not fast enough for to use it against decent players. Every other thing for Lee is either good or great. I started actually looking at the command history. I was noticing that it was probably me not getting the command correctly. But yes, when it comes to counter hit down 3, it does seem to not be as strong as the dual sense. I don't know if I said before, but I'm not going to test the DualSense right now because the audio might get screwed up in the video, because for some reason Windows changes the audio output device into the controller and it's a mess. Okay, so for Lee, I'm going to have to say that this is a good controller. However, when it comes to slides from the left, it's just okay, and when it comes to slides from the right, I have to say this is actually very poor. This is just not very good. Now again, doing, hey, finally I got one. Why did that one work? If there is any Lee out there, please explain to me why that one counted as a perfect slide while the previous one did not. Isn't that just the same command? Down, down, forward, down, down, forward, +3 at the same time. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, for slides, now you can do the fake out very easy. Oh wow, very easily. Okay, let's see. Consecutive ones. Okay, for consecutive ones, it's not that bad. Okay, that one came out as perfect. Again. Okay. So my conclusion for Lee, it's that it's a good controller. It's just not optimal. However, the weakest aspect of this controller when it comes to Lee is the slide. And realistically, if you are at the level that you can do, that you can play with Lee at a with perfect slides or with slides on demand, you're probably playing against people who can react to it, because this low, it's very slow. It's actually very slow. However, of course, if we're talking about the full crouch mix-up, yeah, this controller works just fine. And here we are now with Steve. For some time, we're going to set random block and random counter to test down forward 2. Okay, one miss, 2 misses. It's not getting counter hit. Okay, one thing I want to say about this controller in comparison to many other controllers is that for Steve, actually doing wavedashing with this dock command, we can actually do this a lot more easily than on the DualSense, than on a DualShock 4, than on practically any other controller other than a leverless controller, because this doesn't hurt. Doing this motion doesn't hurt. Doing this on the DualSense is very painful. Doing this and this. No, it's not on frame. Now it's on frame. Okay, it's doing this, and it hurts the finger. It's one of the reasons why I would not recommend playing Raven on a DualSense. It's very painful. On the other side, with this controller, as you can see, this is very easy, and it doesn't hurt, which is a lot more important. Now, nowadays, this technique with Steve is not as powerful because, as you saw there, Rising 2 is not a counter hit launcher. It's a counter hit launcher in, it's at least in 6, Tag 2 and 7 it's a counter hit launcher, but not on Tekken 8. Now, this is still useful because his Rising 1 series are still very powerful, and Rising 2 now has some trickery to it now that they added the option to not go into Lionheart to force a bizarre punishment, but there is use for it. So this controller, right off the bat, is one I would prefer using over practically every other controller because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt my fingers. Now, as we saw, it consistently gets this combo. Now, bear in mind what I'm failing here. What's failing here is not the controller, it's just my reactions. My reactions and the fact that I'm not actually a Steve player. So let's try into Rising 1 2. Now there is practically no reason to go for this because you would rather go for Sonic Fang for the hit engager in practically every situation. Very rarely will you actually want to go for this. Now there's another combo from 1042 which is Rising 2 2, but this is a proper one frame link that's not really going to happen in real matches. This is way too tight. I think the Tekken team went overboard really with this link. This is very difficult. Now, even if I set it to just get always hit and I set it to guaranteed counter hit, this is extremely difficult. Again, this is a real one frame link. There is no leniency to this. You either get the timing or you don't. And the thing is, it's not even a particularly great combo. If I remember correctly, it just does the same damage as this one, either 44 or 45. However, it puts Steve in Lionheart, or it can't put Steve in Lionheart. But again, as you see, this is not something that's going to be happening. Now, the controller that was the most consistent for me doing this combo is the leverless, but of course, when it comes to Steve, I would much rather use this controller than a leverless. Okay, let's try this same thing, but on the other side. Okay, so first action, we want a random block again, and we want shuffle or random for counter hits, and we want to switch position or go back to the position I had set up. Okay. A miss. But again, these misses are really because of my reactions, not because I'm failing execution because of the controller. Let's try back one. Okay, that's one. Oops. Okay, and let's try a funkier combo. Oh, right, before that, let's try this one. Again, this one is not actually useful. Okay. Yeah, this one is more difficult. On the right side. But again, this combo is not actually useful. This is not useful at all. This is not a combo I would do in a real match. I would just do this. See, it's only the 42 damage, so this combo really is not relevant at all. Okay, so now let's look at something more relevant, which is back to oh, and by the way, let me actually test back one. Did I test it here? I don't think I did. Okay, so now let's test back to regular back to on normal hit, because this move is not one you're going to be using randomly. You're not going to just throw back to out. Back to out is a whiff punishment. This is because this is punishable on block is -13, so you're not actually going to be using this for mix-ups or anything. So when you throw this out, you know it's going to hit. Now, back to Rising 1-2 is range dependent. Sometimes it will just whiff. And again, much like with Downfall 2, we could technically do this combo back to into flicker, buffer, cancel into Rising 2-2, but that's not going to happen. That's the same one frame link situation. That's not going to happen in this video at all. And even still, this combo, well, this one is actually usable, and this and it makes sense to use this one because it sometimes whiffs range. See, sometimes I feel like I should have got that, but it doesn't come out, and I believe it's because of range. Still, the fact that you can just go again into a hit engagement means that this option is very much not relevant in the overwhelming majority of situations. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is because of range. And of course, the further away the player is, the tighter the combo is. Now, let's do again the wavedashing. That on this controller does not actually hurt, and it's actually usable. Again, for Steve in this game, it's not that useful, but we still can do some trickery. So here it is. My finger doesn't hurt as much, still hurts. But again, it doesn't hurt because of the D-pad, hurts because I've been doing some technical stuff for several characters, one after the other, and that's tiring on a finger. But again, this is the easiest controller I've had to do this. And when I'm talking about controller, I'm talking about controller with a D-pad, because again, I've been able to get faster results with leverless controllers, but of course with leverless controllers the rest of the character is not as accessible or easy to play to me. I still prefer playing with a D-pad. Okay, so now what we're going to do is something that is actually very usable or very useful first, if we're going to go to the wall, let's see where we appear. Okay, and now we're going to switch positions. Now we're going to be on the left, and our back is to the wall because we're going to do the grab that guard breaks at the wall that comes from Tekken 4. In Tekken 4, every character had it, but from Tekken 4 onwards, only Steve has it. So what we're going to do is this grab, but you'll notice, oh, of course, I have to get Devil Jin to not throw break. You'll notice that we are too far away to actually get the grab to splat, so we're going to have to do this by making Devil Jin block and then approach. Now we'll know if it works if we get a combo. So if we don't get a combo, this is what will happen. See, that's three hit combo. It should say 4. That's if we don't get it. So we're going to go for rocket. Okay. Okay. No, that was not a combo. Okay, let's try that again, but with back 2. These are not buttons that I use usually. This grab is actually quite rare to get in actual matches. The one you usually get is the lateral grab and the frontal grab. The full turnaround grab is not all that common to get, but as you can see, you can get some nasty damage from it. That was not a combo. So 89 damage with a really bad combo, because I don't actually know what the combo is, but you can see this is very usable and very helpful. Then we also have the sided grab, this option which hits from the side, but this one is really just for, again, Sonic Fang, because while we can get this, it is extremely difficult and not worth it. There is absolutely no point in doing this, because we can just go into back 1-2 into Lionheart, which is much better. But the one we care about in particular are these ones. For example, and again let's try the other one again. Okay, 88 damage. Now let's do it on the other side. Now to do it on the other side, thankfully the Tekken team has added an option to switch the camera position, because this configuration that I just got to get back to the wall could not be done on both walls. In the same instance of practice mode, you had to change sides. So now that they added this option, we can actually do it, which is very beautiful. That was not a combo. I need you to get closer. That was a combo. That was a combo. Combo. That was not. Well, I didn't even remember the combo. That's how bizarre this situation is. Because again, this is such a bizarre combo. I don't know, that's a that's a tag 2 combo, or a, is it tag 2? Can't actually remember if this hit is intact. Anyway, this is the bouncer tag to at the wall. See, I'm getting the combo, but then I forget what I have to follow up with, because this is again training mode only. I've never actually seen this happen in a real match that I've had. Okay, so as we can see, it works, and I have to say for Steve, this controller is fantastic. It's just fantastic. Not only can it perform everything that Steve needs in this game, but it can do it while not being painful to use, like the DualShock. And I have to say, this this Wavedash, I find it easier to do here than, for example, on an arcade stick. Now, as you can see, I'm not as fast as low-high, evidently, but the most important aspect, I cannot stress it enough, is just that this does not hurt. On the DualSense and on the DualShock 4, it does hurt. Now, and just to end, let's try some funky combos, like I think I saw low-high do this combo. Okay, now let's try it on the left side. The right side, sorry, not the left side. And I think that is pretty much it. I do not believe I'm forgetting any other character. To summarize, this controller is fantastic, because remember, this isn't just for Tekken. This is a controller that you can use in many other video games. It comes with 4 back buttons. Evidently it does not support all of the very nice DualSense features that are exclusive to PlayStation, the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. Well, I said exclusive to PlayStation. You can actually get adaptive triggers, custom adaptive triggers on PC, and there are some games that do support those features to a limited extent, like Space Marine 2. Now, this controller, the only issue I have to say is that when it comes to wireless functionality, it only works with its own 2.4 gigahertz dongle. It does not have a Bluetooth option, which means that if you want to use it with a Blue Retro for your older consoles, you cannot use this one. However, what I have tested is that it does work with this controller adapter from Brook, the Wingman. This is I believe this is the first edition. It's just that I updated the firmware just as it came out, when Brook confirmed that it had support for the original Xbox. I'm pointing at the original Xbox there. And when we connect this wired, it works. When we connect it with the dongle to this adapter, it works. Same thing for the again, I'm pointing at it. You guys cannot see it. The adapter for the PlayStation 3 version, this will work, and not only will it work, if you set it into PlayStation 4 mode, motion controls will work, so you'll be able to play something like Killzone 2, which requires motion controls to be able to actually finish the first mission. Otherwise you would need either a DualShock 3 or again a controller with motion controls that said adapter can actually recognize, and as I'm saying, it can recognize this one. Additionally, this is a very comfortable controller, I have to say. I've got small hands and while the DualSense, I adore the DualSense, but I have to say this is a very large controller. Doing claw grip is very difficult, and not only is it difficult, in some cases it's actually painful, and that is a very big problem. For example, for Devil May Cry, this controller is too big for me. Sadly, it is too big for me. I can't play it, but it's definitely way too big. When it comes to Devil May Cry, I would probably use this or this, changing the D-pad. So this is a fantastic all-purpose controller with outstanding performance in Tekken. Bryan is perfectly playable with this controller. The only thing that does not work with Bryan is the training mode only combo that is, as I said, taunt back 4, sway 1, Requiem. That is a combo that, again, I've only ever been able to get with 2 controllers, the DualSense and the Hori. I've never been able to get it with the leverless. I've never been able to get it with the stick. However, what this controller can do rather consistently is taunt into sway 1, which is a very important tool. People are not using it, but it's a wall-splat. It's easier to do than taunt back 4. It does less damage, but it's easier and it's safe on block. It's a high, but generally people are not going to be ducking Bryan when he does taunts at the wall because they're expecting a back 4. Other than that, what I have to say is that this controller can, while it is modular, slightly modular, only slightly, it only comes with this useless fight pad option, and this is clearly made for people who don't play fighting games. Most people who are any decent at fighting games do not use these 6 phase buttons. While we do have options like let me show it to you, the Power A, I can't remember what this controller is called, but it's a Saturn style controller from Power A. This one, well, it has the 6 phase buttons. Most people with these controllers are actually using the shoulders and the triggers, not actually these buttons. For my case, I only use these buttons for Zangief in Street Fighter 6. That's it, because with Zangief we need to have the EX Lariat on 3 buttons, and doing like this is a lot less comfortable than doing like that. Other than that, this is practically useless. I really see no point in this. However, what I do also miss is being able to have a module for the right side that changes this controller into a Wii U configuration. Let me show you the Wii U controller for a second. Sorry, boys. So this one, as you can see, the Wii U controller, the Wii U Pro controller, has both sticks in primary position. I would very much like to have the option to do that. However, this controller does not allow such a configuration. You can only have D-pad on primary position, left stick on primary position, and the right joystick can only be on secondary position. That's a very big missed opportunity, I have to say, because especially for first-person shooters or games that do not rely that much on the face buttons and rely more on the triggers, it would have been a good option. Now, another negative that I have to say is that I've not been able to get the gyroscope sensor to work on PC, sadly. That's really no fault of the controller, because it's not recognized as a native, a proper PlayStation 4 controller or a proper PlayStation 5 controller. I don't know if that will get fixed or if some software will be able to read the gyroscope, but I would very much like to be able to do that. I believe that is all for this Tekken demo. I'll probably do some other demos in some other games, but this is legitimately a fantastic controller. I've been recently replaying through Resistance, Fall of Man and Resistance 3, and I've been using this controller, and it's a dream. Now, It's a pricey controller. Absolutely, it is pricey. But what you get here, to me, is great. Now it has the shape of an not the series, not the Xbox One controller, but it's closer to a Series X controller and an Xbox One controller. Now, I do not like this controller at all. I prefer the Xbox One controller because the D-pad was much better. However, it was placed in the wrong position, and even still, I do not like the Xbox One controller and the Xbox Series X controller all that much. I much prefer these designs and the Duke. This, however, has the smaller form factor of the Xbox One controller that I have back there. The Xbox Series X controller is there, while giving me the option to have a proper PlayStation layout. And if I have to choose the layouts, I will always choose the PlayStation layout. If a controller is a all-purpose controller, it has to be on PlayStation configuration, because again, then I can do double claw grip. You cannot really do double claw grip on this. So that's it. This is a comfortable, powerful controller that actually works for Tekken. I've shown you my main character and some of my secondary characters. I do also have to say that, full disclosure, I have not been playing Tekken 8 much in the past few months, but I felt that I needed to make this video because the reviews I've heard and I've watched about this controller are very, very poor, especially when it comes to the D-pad. Most people don't even mention this D-pad, and as you could see, when it comes to Bryan and Steve, it's a fantastic D-pad. It's simply an outstanding D-pad, prepared to play at any level. For Devil Jin, it's a very great D-pad. However, if you are used again to doing this very tight grip with the index finger that is very close to the D-pad, you're going to have to get used to this controller. However, you could see in the Devil Jin demo that it doesn't take that long. I was doing microstep into electric just in like 5 minutes. For Lee, most of the situations work perfectly fine. The only one that's a bit doubtful are the slides, but then again, I don't do slides. Those are tremendously risky, and in this game, they're not, to me, they don't seem as powerful as they used to be. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a better controller than the DualSense Edge. It's right there. I'm not going to get it because the DualSense Edge does almost everything this controller does while having adaptive triggers that you can set up on PC. Now that's gigantic because you can do some really deep customized layers while activating the gyroscope. That's not something you can do on this controller. However, again, it has 4 back buttons, and not every game requires a gyroscope or a full set of shift layers. Additionally, the DualSense Edge is extremely expensive, and if you break the D-pad on that controller, that's it. You're not fixing it. You cannot actually change the D-pad unlike the joysticks. Now, I don't like giving notes or ratings to to anything, but this is again an outstanding controller. If you're looking for an all-purpose controller, this you cannot go wrong with this controller. If you want to go for the Xbox layout, you can change into the Xbox layout, and it comes with a few different thumb cap configurations. We have the short concave, 2 short concaves, 1 short convex, I love this one, and one very extremely tall concave, and I love this one. I really love this one. Aside from that, I'm really trying to think some other things. Oh right, the microphone output is awful on PlayStation 5. I do not even know why why other controllers even bother. On Xbox Series X and on PlayStation 5, this output is practically unusable. Audio quality drops through the floor, so don't use it. Now, again, this is a fantastic all-purpose controller. If anything, take my Bryan footage, because that's the character I really play. That's the character I've played the most, and that's the character that I always go back to. Even when I don't play Tekken online, I every other day I go back into training mode and do some taunt toppers and such. The other characters, not so much. Now, and to close, this controller is fantastic for most characters. It only falters when it comes to the quarter circles, but that might just be because you will have to change the grip. In my case, I can get used to that. Now, will I use this controller for what's his name, for Lee? Probably not, because I'm going to be using my DualSense that I'm already accustomed to it. But I very much, as you can guess, I very much like using different types of controllers, and this is a controller that I can use for Bryan, no doubt in my mind. So I would say that this controller is pretty much equivalent to the DualSense, pretty much equivalent in most situations. And let's talk about Tekken. I think these are on the same level. The DualSense maybe does Mishimas better, but again, that might just be the fact that I've been using PlayStation D-pads since forever, at least 20 years, and I've only been using this D-pad for Tekken, I don't know, maybe a total of 10 hours, because I didn't actually get this for fighting games. I got this for the 4 back buttons, and because I wanted to test the gyroscope, which sadly on PC I could not get to work. So do not fall for what most people have been saying on the internet. This controller works great for Tekken. See you guys.